Upgrades.
I'm Sanaa Hamri. I'm one of the executive producers and director of Wheel of Time Season 2.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good. I'm Natasha from JVS Media and Production. So I'm happy to talk with you today about The Wheel of Time, one of my favorite shows, and of course, one of my favorite book series. So I wanted to ask, since you are also an executive producer of the show, how has that helped you in your approach in directing the 4 episodes, especially for episodes 7 and 8?
That's such a great question. When I came on at the beginning of season 2 to produce and direct the show, it was more about being able to immerse myself in the vision of where the storylines and the characters were going. So I met with Rafe Judkins, the showrunner, and the other writers and producers, and talked about like what was going to be the difference between season 1, season 2, where are we going visually with season 2, because the story is going in a certain area. So that just helps me as a director because I have a lot more backstory and I know what the intention of the team is. And that's why I like producing the work that I direct, because I have more of a tactile and tonal ability to understand where each character is going from the inception to the very end. So it just gives you a different layer. Also, in terms of the decision making and in terms of making sure that all the episodes feel cohesive. We have 8 episodes. There are 2 other directors. I did 4 of them, and then the other 2 split 2 between themselves. So it needs to feel like we're the same family, but everybody has their own flair. And I'm there to, obviously support the directors in the vision and make sure that if they have any questions. And so it just doesn't feel like such a different, episode per episode. And you can see from the beginning of the season until we reach to episode 7, it's like we grow and we're introducing all these new worlds. It just feels like one full team.
Okay. So explain how the scene of Matt going through his past lives, I'll put that in quotation marks because I have my own theories about that, was shot, and what were you hoping the audience took away from that nightmarish scene?
I actually really love this scene. Obviously, we'll talk about it after the episode is aired.
Yes. I'm planning on airing this after the episode airs, so I'm really
my producer's hat on now. Yes. As I take it off and put my director's hat, that was a really interesting scene because I wanted to be in Matt's perspective when he drinks that weird tea that Ishamael gives him, and he takes a sip and he's like, this is nothing. And then all of a sudden, we're in that. I kind of like leaned into kind of 70s imagery. I thought about, music by the Doors. It has like a very Doors quality to it. That was an influence for me. The camera work was fluid. I wanted to feel like we were kind of with him on this trip. And then also the trip itself is about his inner fears, like his mother, like the things that appear in the image, like his past life. It's his fears as well of his past lives. As you know, that Jordan, who is really like keyed in with his books with all this Eastern philosophies of reincarnation. I mean, it's such a strong theme in Wheel of Time. So I just wanted to make it scary and kind of disorienting. So I hope that when everybody sees that, they can get the feeling like they drank the tea with Ishamael.
It's funny because I was like, wait, Ishamael is the father of lies. I was like, okay, we're definitely getting past lies, but is that everything? But of course, that's my own theories on that. But so what was your favorite scene to shoot for episode 7? I'm assuming it's Matt, but I wasn't sure if there was another scene that you really enjoyed shooting for episode 7.
Episode 7 had so many scenes that I loved. So I loved Matt because this is where we can really make like a visual thing. one of my favorite moments, which was fun to shoot, was when Lanfear is walking through the foregate like a rock star and she's blowing stuff up. And to me, that's like the epitome of power. And, you know, working with Natasha O'Keefe, I told her, I said, you know, you don't need to do much. You've got the outfit, you've got the hair, you've got the makeup. All you have to do is walk through and do a little flick and let stuff blow up. And it's just so effective. She's so like, I was like, it's a Lady Gaga moment for her. So that was fun. And then of course I loved all the scenes between, you know, Moraine and Siwan. Sophie Okonedo is amazing. And so is Rosamund Pike. And the scenes between them and Rand in, you know, the Amelin seat, it was like, I mean, just incredible to have all those actors. There's just so many nuances. And then the thing that Sophie brings to the table, especially because she's like playing the leader, and she just really has the power. There's this kind of casualness and naturalness that she brings to it that you really truly believe while she's wearing the crown that she is who she is. So I just think the actors really brought it. I mean, they've been bringing it every episode, but in 7 you really get to see kind of the culmination of all their work.
Absolutely, because I definitely enjoyed those scenes too. Definitely a lot of foreshadowing there. So based on where we left off on episode 7 and considering the tons of stuff that happens at the end of the book, I'm just wondering, like, are we going to get some of the major events, and how cohesive is it, and is someone going to blow a horn?
Well, here's what I can tell you though.
Yeah.
I can tell you that everybody's heading to Fawn. Remember, all of the cast, they're like, the characters are in different places, they're encountering dark friends and all that, but they're all heading to Fawn. Everybody has a reason. Everybody wants to save Egwene, clearly, but also we've got Loyal, who's locked up as well. We're going to discover who are some dark friends. And then, of course, a big event does happen, one of the biggest events in the finale. Okay. And it's really, really, really amazing. It was quite the thing. And what I do love about the finale, and people can be excited for, a lot of stuff we did in camera, just really great shots, great locations, great scenes, a lot of drama. We'll find out who's going to make it, who's not, that type of thing.
Yeah, I kind of know where you're going because I have my own theories on that, especially when it covers certain areas of certain books.
Yeah, I was like, what book? You're like, at the end of the book, I'm like, which book?
No, well, The Great Hunt. I guess I should have clarified, because there's a lot of stuff that happens, and I guess we want to make sure that everyone is where they need to be and it ends where they need to be. So like we're at the beginning of maybe book 3 / book 4, because I know they were covering some elements of book 3, but not everything in book 3. So
I could say that it will all make sense when we get there.
Okay, well that's very, very helpful. So do you have a favorite character for the Wheel of Time? I know it's kind of like you gotta love everybody in their own little moments, but is there someone that really stands out to you that you just love filming, but also just love their character development for this season?
I mean, if that's all, the actors are so different and they each come with a different interaction with me. You know, as a director, you kind of have very unique relationships with each role. But then you also have these stories. For me, I am empowered by women who are in power. I'm empowered by seeing women of color in power and in roles that are strong and that has an emotional arc and that serves a purpose. So for me, I will always start there, you know, and love that. Like when you see, I mean, Nynaeve in the Arches, I mean, come on, that was amazing. The work, the acting. Then you've got Egwene, you know, as a Soldam. And then of course you've got Marcus, who plays Perrin, who does an amazing job struggling with being a wolf. I mean, I just feel like there's just so many great things. And I'm just passionate about the inclusivity and being able to see people of color depicted in this way in high fantasy. So those are going to be my favorite moments. And then of course, everything else is just like, just amazing cherry on top,
Thank you so much for taking the time to interview with me. I'm really excited about, episode 8.